I took a nice fall walk in the beautiful neighborhood of St. Henry the other day, and I was wondering, why does everything on our phone feel like gambling now? TikTok, Instagram, Temu, even some language apps somehow. You swipe, you wait, you get a hit. Sometimes. That sometimes got me thinking, this isn't just a feeling. Part of me thinks it's a design. The same psychological schedule that kept rats in B.F. Skinner's lab pecking and licking at a metal disc in the 1950s is now somehow keeping you scrolling, keeping you spending, and more importantly, keeping you engaged. Skinner found that when rewards are random, animals keep going even after the rewards stop. They literally can't find a pause, and that is the blueprint. In this video, I'm going to break down how that casino logic, variable, unpredictable rewards, escaped the casino and took over everything. Video games, social feeds, and shopping apps. Then we'll look at the fallout, addiction, attention collapse, and governments trying, and mostly failing to regulate it. And finally, we'll look at something rare, ethical design that doesn't treat you like livestock. Because innovation has never been the problem. Addiction is just much better for margins. Let's start with the lab rat. B.F. Skinner ran a series of experiments called operant conditioning. Put a hungry rat in a box, rat presses a lever, food pellet drops, the rat learns, push lever, get reward. That's basic reinforcement. But here's where it gets fascinating. Skinner tried different schedules for rewards. If the rat got food every time, it learned fast. But it also quit the second the food stopped. That's called continuous reinforcement, and it actually doesn't really work very well. Then he tried variable ratio reinforcement, which essentially means random. The rat might get food after 2 presses, then 7, then 5, then 20. No pattern. Skinner noticed 2 things. 1, the rats became completely overtaken by that singular, constant, steady lever pressing. 2, they did not stop. Even when the food was secretly turned off, they just kept pressing. If you were to take that unpredictable reward after repeated action and be the first to package it into a metal, nicotine-stained box with flashing lights, congratulations, you have just invented the slot machine. Modern platforms didn't accidentally become addictive. They industrialized the most addictive schedule psychology we've ever measured. Skinner built the box, tech scaled it, and put it in the hands of everyone. Let's talk about your brain on maybe. Skinner never trapped someone in a human-sized cage, but it turns out people end up behaving quite similar to rats. So, why does it work so well? It's dopamine. Dopamine isn't just pleasure, it's do that again. It's the chemical signal for motivation, even irrational motivation. The brain's reward system, specifically pathways from the ventral tegmental area to the nucleus accumbens, fires to reinforce behaviors it thinks are worth repeating. And it gets stronger when the reward is surprising. A neuroscientist by the name of Wolfram Schultz showed that dopamine spikes aren't about the reward itself, they're about prediction error. If what you got was better than what you expected, you get a major dopamine burst. If it was exactly what you expected, you basically get nothing. Now look at how social apps behave. You pull to refresh. Sometimes you get nothing. Sometimes you get some new likes, a couple DMs, or maybe even someone attractive commenting on your post. Platforms have repeatedly delayed likes and batch dropped them all at once on purpose to turn a flat result into a surprise jackpot. That jump from nobody cares about me to, okay, actually, maybe I'm kind of important, is entirely engineered. It is designed to maximize attention and create habit-building actions. Infinite Scroll weaponizes this. Azra Raskin, who helped create Infinite Scroll back in 2006, later said he regretted it. He called it one of the first features built specifically to keep you online as long as possible. He's estimated that design alone now burns through the equivalent of hundreds of thousands of lifetimes of attention every single day. That's not quite UX. And because Infinite Scroll removes the "are you done" moment, no pagination, zero natural breaks, there are no stopping cues. You essentially become the rat, only with better lighting and better notifications. Let's talk about loot boxes and gacha. A loot box is simple. You pay money to open a digital box and get random rewards of unknown value. It could be complete trash, it could be very rare and very valuable. You don't know, you just know the next one might hit. This model migrated from physical card packs and early online games into pretty much everywhere after publishers realized it just prints money. A Chinese free-to-play MMO called ZT Online was making over $15 million a month back in 2007 by basically selling chances at that gear. That validated a clear thesis to the entire industry: don't just sell the game, sell the gamble. Fast forward, mobile gaming, which leans heavily on loot boxes and gacha pulls, is a $92 billion business and accounts for almost half of global gaming revenue. The game is now a delivery system for a slot machine that lives inside of it. Now, here's the part that started to alarm regulators. There is a strong correlation between how much someone spends on loot boxes and how severe their problem gambling symptoms are. One large study found that young people who buy loot boxes with their own money had 11.4 times higher odds of being classified as problem gamblers than those who didn't. 11.4. Belgium looked at that and decided, yeah, we think that's gambling, and basically forced publishers to turn off paid loot boxes in their games or face legal action. China forces companies to publish the drop rates and the actual odds, and even requires pity timers, so the chance of getting a rare item has to go up the more you fail. In the US, meanwhile, loot boxes are mostly still legal. Don't worry though, they're surprise mechanics. The industry's argument is that it's not gambling if the prize is technically just a digital hat. Regulators are stuck debating whether a sword that only exists as pixel counts could count as monetary value. This conversation is ongoing and still largely a gray area. Temu went from under 6 million users in late 2022 to over 100 million by April 2023. That's not because people suddenly needed more ring lights, it's because Temu turned shopping into a casino. Open the app and you're hit with spin to win, time coupons, flash deals about to expire, progress bars, invite a friend rewards, daily check-ins to grow a fake tree so you can redeem a real product. All of that is pulling straight from slot machines, mobile game daily quests, and social FOMO. There is also infinite scroll for products, not categories, not "I'm just here to buy shoes," just an endless feed of random objects you did not know you wanted, paired with urgency banners like "almost gone," because panic always converts better than logic. And because prices are absurdly low, a couple of dollars, sometimes less, every purchase feels like a low-stakes pull, when each bet, so to speak, is cheap. You stop thinking in terms of budgeting and start thinking in terms of momentum, and that is entirely designed. That's the world we're in. Tension is monetized with variable dopamine hits, money is extracted through casino logic, and the line between shopping and behavioral conditioning is gone. So, is there a way out of this? You don't have to put your phone in the microwave, you don't have to live off the grid. There is definitely a difference between gamblification and gamification. Gamblification, like we discussed, is the casino model. External rewards, chance, urgency, loss aversion, fear of missing out, FOMO. Gamification is the skill model, progress, mastery, and effort. Take Duolingo. It pushes streaks, badges, XP, and leaderboards. Daily streaks, tap, loss aversion. Yes, but here's the difference. You can't buy fluency by luck. You can only get rewarded by actually doing the work. That approach helped Duolingo speed up its daily active user growth by around 350%. Fitbit does the exact same thing. You get badges for climbing, the equivalent of 100 floors a day, or walking marathon distances. You're being nudged, but you're in control. The outcome is based on effort, not a random payout. There are people, including some of the same people who have helped build the problem, arguing for what they call humane tech. Tristan Harris calls this shift moving from time spent to time well spent. Instead of measuring how long they keep you staring at glass, the question becomes, was it worth it? One of their core ideas is plainly simple. Put the stopping cues back. Let people finish a chapter. Let them leave. That's considered apparently radical. So here is where we've landed. Casinos spent a century perfecting the variable reward loop. Tech companies took that loop, stripped out the physical slot machine, and hid it inside entertainment, communication, and shopping, and even self-improvement. We call it engagement. Regulators may call it a gray area for now. Neuroscientists call it compulsion. And meanwhile, you and I do it every day. The scary part is not that this exists. The scary part is that it's now the default interface layer for reality. You don't opt in, you opt out, and that is getting harder and harder to decipher. But there is a line worth drawing. Gamblification is addiction disguised as UX. Gamification is when it's honest, it's scaffolding for effort. One sells maybe, the other sells progress. So the next time an app gives you a wheel to spin before you've seen the product, just remember, you are not the customer in that moment. You are the machine being trained. The customer is whoever's cashing out on the other side. And the house still always wins.
I'll tell you what, I know this pastry is like 80% butter, but it's delicious. Take a little piece of bread and some butter and some chocolate and it just works.